Tracy turned storytelling into strategy, flipping the script on chronic illness so people see leadership, not pity. Stick around and she'll ignite hope in your life. Let's all be innovative and show that through awareness, through coming together, we can create change.
Just planting little bits about these storylines, more accurate information in the screens, on social media, in the book. It's quite important. And for me, I saw that this is more important and more impactful than what I could have been able to do seated in a law office. But that does not mean I have abandoned law. Once a lawyer, always a lawyer. Even if you go to any field, you'll always find that you're following the law and implementing the law. Yes.
Sure. So it made you who you are today, and it made you become more innovative in a part that you're now impacting lives. You impacted mine to start creating and advocating. So what's the single lesson law didn't teach you that now comms did?
Okay. So the biggest lesson I got from law is understanding how life works. There are some things that are facts that everyone knows about. Like, for example, the sun rises in the east is a fact. So there are some facts about human behavior that I got to learn about. As a person looking outside within, you might think that some people are bad, or some people are evil. How can you do such a crime? How can you do this and that? But once you get to look at it from the law perspective, you get to understand these are people probably they had limited or no information, or the people around them who are advising them gave them wrong advice, or the people around them made them feel like they don't have any other choice apart from getting pushed to do a certain act. So from that, I started understanding there are a lot of things that influence life, and there are a lot of facts in life. People might think, especially when you're young, you might think that you know better. But honestly, as you grow, you get to experience more of what people in life experience. You understand? It's called adulting. And with adulting comes a lot of reality, whereby you're even told, you now stop judging that auntie that you are judging when you are younger, because now you're like that auntie. You find yourself making the same decisions because you're being exposed to the same kind of things that they were also exposed to, and you have to make decisions that also, they had to make those same decisions. So for me, law helped me to get that sober mind, to get to understand that, hey, when it comes to these conditions, like health conditions and disabilities, as long as people don't know the information that they need to know to break those stigmas, to break those assumptions, to break those hates, in all levels of institutions, like even for me, I am not afraid to talk about even prejudices and assumptions that are made in places where people are supposed to be helped the most. So which are these places? These are places like essential services. You go to a government office. So even it can be at home. Like, for example, everyone uses their phone, Safaricom. So if someone is deaf and they need to be assisted by customer care, how will they do it? Probably they'll say, you give your phone to someone who can speak. But that's wrong. That's wrong, because you're exposing their information to someone else, and you never know that person can take advantage of them. Or if you're in hospital and you're dealing with a woman who's speaking a different language or doesn't understand, maybe they are from a different religion, and you force them to go through something that maybe is against their beliefs. You understand what happens? Why don't we have, like in transport sectors, accessibilities? If you are in a wheelchair, does that mean you have to have enough money to own your own car?
No, but through support,
like those. Yeah, because if these things are supposed to be serving everyone, why are they not serving everyone? And the gauge of knowing if society is working is not if it is serving the people who need it least, but serving the people who need it most. If you want to know, like, for example, the transport sector is working, you have to look at it as, is it serving the people who have challenges, who have mobility issues? If you want to know the pavements are good, can any person access them? Can a person with a wheelchair move comfortably in Nairobi or in whatever city in Kenya using a wheelchair? If the answer is no, then those essential services, they are not serving people. Because if it's not serving the one who needs it most, then it will not serve well also the other person who does not have a problem. So law now started helping me to be able to look at these gaps and see that they need to be filled and see that they need to be solved. And we don't need to be begging for them to be solved. It is actually right. It's just that people don't know.
How to
so basically,
use their voice. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
Right. So how do you turn a documentary into a policy conversation?
Okay. Right now. Okay. For me, I usually try not to mince words. The biggest issue is the people who are in office currently, even in our ministries, you find they're not the people who are affected, true or not?
True.
So that means when they get into that office, they are not making the correct solutions that we need because they don't have the lived experience. So now it's upon us, the ones who are going through these issues, to be able to translate to them through our lived experience. What do we need? What do we need? So like, for example, on my end, I chose the route of media. So this means creating a piece of media that will spotlight and show clearly the problem, then trying to get in touch with the stakeholders or the policymakers and showing them, look, this is the problem and the solution is like this and like that. Are you willing to have us to consult maybe with you to help you in creating the proper solution? Because probably you're wasting a lot of funds, going for these meetings or these trainings that are really not quite effective. So it is you knowing as a person who's living through that experience, you have the solution. So just use your voice, advocate for yourself, go and knock the doors. If they don't open, then that means there's a problem with them. The problem is not you. So you should just continue knocking. That is what advocacy is about.
Sure. You've touched about the lived experience part. When it comes now, community outreach, scaling programs, how can we better come together so that when we go knock on doors, we can be heard in different perspectives, or maybe we are doing something, but we can't present to them, but they can see it from inside. What do you think are possible ways that we can at least come up together to be innovative, to develop maybe coping strategies or strategies to reach out to them?
Okay, so I think number one is to be able to have the right kind of training. And also for us to come together as bodies for certain conditions and lived experiences and start telling them our needs. Like for example, I would say hemophilia, when it comes to support in Kenya, is leaps ahead than that of sickle cell. And I think it's because you are able to come together as a body and be able to present to the stakeholders that these are our needs and these are the solutions. So it comes as being able to speak as one body, being able to keep on giving the correct messaging, and also being able to show the need for training, the adequate training. Are the people who are supposed to be doing these things, are they doing the right thing? Why are they not doing the right thing? Can they get training? And honestly, sometimes you might find in some of these sectors, like for example, I personally also am a trainer. So you might find some sectors are quite difficult, like the personalities are quite difficult to train because they feel that they know it all. So, and this is because definitely you went to school for long, or maybe you are at a certain level of skill. So you feel like maybe, I know everything. So like, for example, when it comes to training medical practitioners, when it comes even to training people like engineers and such, because now they come from that mindset of, I know. But now, us as people who have the lived experience, we are the people who are able to fill in that gap. So I would just say the number one thing is at least training, because people think that they know and they do not know. Maybe also I would take back the question to you and ask you, on your end and through your experience, what do you feel like is the correct thing to do, or a proper solution that would work?
Okay, as per from my end, I think from the perspective of you knowing that from the diagnosis and up to now, your lived experience, your struggles, they taught me to be resilient. They taught me to be innovative in ways that I can say I've learned to use my voice through creating awareness, through reaching out for more opportunities when it comes to now you learning how to manage yourself well. So the first thing that I learned is just health literacy. You have to be health literate about yourself. You have to push yourself, and you have to know what your body tells you. It's until you unlock that self infinite around you, so that you'll teach others to be innovative enough to empower them to be Shujaas in their own voices. So let's all come together, use our voices as a power, use our own lived experience, so that those that doesn't know about living fully with a blood disorder, they can literally understand, not shame us in a way that it's a curse or it's something. So you don't center on struggles. Walk us through how you shape a story when it comes now, that a story that centers on leadership. What language or visual trick that immediately kills pity framing?
Yeah, I completely agree. That's so true. And just having the correct information or a different kind of framing of a situation. Like right now, I see a lot of disabilities when it comes even to film or creativity. They kind of show them in the aspect of, a superpower.
Yeah.
Because this means that generally any person who is disabled or has had a lifelong health condition, it just means that we had to become hyper focused and understand how will we be able to keep up. So for me, even when it comes to interacting with other sickle cell warriors, I'm always surprised. You find that when it comes to performance, we are at high performance, high in emotional intelligence, high intelligence generally. And that is something that we had to come up with, because you're facing certain conditions and you have to keep up. And also with sickle cell, there's a lot of pain. And even as you know, like even in spy movies, and you watch spy movies, they're taken through, those torture. Like, you know what happens to those spies, they are tied up, tortured and all of that. Then what happens when he comes out of that situation? He's stronger than ever. He's not scared about anything. So that is basically the life of a person who has any kind of non-communicable disease or disability. We are much stronger than people assume, because when people look at us from the outside, maybe they feel like it's pity or they are scared or something like that, because maybe they think they would not have what it would take, to survive such a thing. And it's just maybe the reality dawning on them that they've had life way easier than the other person. So I feel that does not warrant the feeling of, sympathizing, having pity on people, or even stigmatizing people. I think that's the worst part of having to deal with any condition at all whatsoever in life, whether health, disability, or just a personal kind of implication in your life, whereby you have the people who are around you are not assisting, but causing more pain and hardship.
Yeah.
So our goal is definitely to just be able to change the narrative, ensure that we are not ashamed to get the help that we deserve. And even when you look at the Disability Act, where our conditions are included, I applaud that. That is the right thing, because if you look at it, we are actually having to put in a lot more effort. That means we need a lot more support.
Yeah.
So I would always tell, like, my fellow sickle cell warriors, do not feel ashamed to go for disability. Disability does not mean inability. Disability means getting that leg up that you deserve, so that you can be able to be impactful with others, so that you can be able to get even the tax exemption, because for us, it means something different, having to go to work every day. And our body and our cells at the same time need that stability. So yes, we actually do need that help. We actually do need that understanding. We actually do need those resources. So it's a good thing. It is a good thing. And also, let's be proud of ourselves. We have gotten this far. It means a lot. Despite all the challenges. Yes, the journey means a lot. Maybe you might not be where you were imagining you would be by now and things like that. But I always say, every day that you have woken up, it's a win. Pat yourself on the back. Be your own best friend. Don't be the person who is fighting against yourself. Just learn to be your own best friend. Learn how to speak to yourself kindly. Learn how to be soft with yourself, so that even if you are having an issue, you don't push yourself to the level of having, like, maybe a crisis. You understand? Because maybe you don't understand how to self-manage. So for me, I've just realized that life is all about finding the best way to live it, being comfortable. Yeah, it's not about racing targets or racing certain milestones and all of that. The milestones will always be there. You just have to find your own way that works for you to get to those milestones. And also, those milestones don't have to be the same. You can just choose for yourself what works for your life, what will be impactful for you, what will make your life worth living.
You've made it sound as if it's something that can be taken care of, and through you utilizing and taking care of your body, just like how your skin is shining right now. It tells me that through being health literate, you are the one holding the pen to write your story. If you can't hold the pen, who will tell others that it's painful, it's not painful? So I feel empowered through you sharing that too. And you've mentioned system change, and we need youth empowerment. How can we come together and move forward, maybe beyond this, so that we create something meaningful to empower more communities, maybe coming next year? What do you think can be a solution in collaboration to raise much more empowerment?
So for me, I always say, let's collaborate. Collaborations are really impactful, because what I'm doing is definitely different from what you're doing. So if we pull together, it means we have more impact, we have more reach. Let's all get into the practice of, supporting each other. If I have this thing this month, you have that thing next month. Let's all come together and support each other until our voice is loud enough to not be avoided. It can no longer be ignored. Yeah, because when you're alone, it's really not easy to get to that point of, your voice is very, very loud. So yeah, let's just keep collaborating. Let's keep working together. Let's keep putting our efforts together so that even our responsible bodies can now become much stronger and much impactful. Because as long as people keep trying to do things on a singular basis, thinking that they will profit more or get ahead of the other more, you understand?
Yeah.
We will just remain on the same level. There is tyranny in numbers. That is what I would say. Tyranny in numbers. Let's collaborate.
Sure.
Let's showing up for each other. And everyone is struggling. There's no, I always say there's no one person who is ahead of the other. We are all trying to do this work, which is impactful work, meaning that we have a calling. We have seen how life is, and we're trying to make a difference. So even when you call out for collaborations within the community, within the community of advocacy, let's all do it in a way that we are able to push each other, to lift each other up, because you never know tomorrow. You never know tomorrow. And also, I would also call out to like the different stakeholders and agencies and medical, fields and physicians and all of that. I would say that working with persons who have the lived experience, who want to do this work, is how you can be impactful within the community that you say that you want to assist or you want to make a positive change in. So let there be more voices of the people, especially young people, because young people are the ones who have the solutions. Yeah. I've now broken that channel of, you have to wait to a certain age or to a certain level.
There's no support for them to.
Yes. When it comes to collaborations, whoever who is being impactful in one way or another, I believe as a person who is seated in a certain office somewhere that has a certain docket that is supposed to be helping in these issues that we have, it is absolutely not the right thing for you to be doing sitting in that office, and you're not including the people who are trying to make small efforts from our own, little resources or little reach and little connections. Yes, include us. This is what I would say. If you include us, then the impact is much bigger. The achievements are much better. The ideas are much grander. And even the results, the turnaround of achieving projects is much quicker, because probably the person in office thinks, to do this thing, it would take a huge kind of budget or a huge kind of, timeline, only to realize there's a person already just using their phone or using their little connections. They're already achieving whatever you're trying to do. Yes. Right. So include us. Include us in the advocacy. Yes.
So let me put it in this perspective that who you are is who you attract. So if you see yourself attracting people that maybe are low or high you, it's a calling that you've said your voice can impact them or can demoralize them. So what's your blueprint for scaling a local media project to national impact like the Crimson Courage?
So for me, it's definitely everything starts with good planning. You have to know your goal. Every year, I believe every person, personally, you can have your own personal goals. So even when it comes to a project, always have goals. Say that maybe if you're looking at 2026, first quarter, I want to do this, this, and that. Second quarter, this, and that. By the end of it, I should have achieved this, or I should have this in order. So everything starts with a good plan. Write it down. You can do a vision board, you can write on a notebook or whatever, but always write it down, because sometimes ideas come and they'll escape you. Then number 2, have something to show. You must always have something to show. Everybody has ideas. Have something to show. Produce something that you feel works, and at least have a demo or at least a pilot to show. Then the third step is now you start engaging people who are within that sector who would be either a good partner to you or would help you to at least achieve whatever you're trying to do. And I would say also be humble. Being humble is quite important.
Okay.
And what do I mean by being humble? Being humble means that whoever you're going to ask for assistance of help or help of any kind, you must recognize that for them to be seated in that office or for them to have access to certain things that you require, it means that also them on themselves, they had to task themselves. You understand? So usingie uko na kiburi, usingie na kiburi hata kidogo. Go there having told yourself. Humbling yourself means recognizing the impact that has already been done, because without someone like that, even you would not be there, and you would not be having maybe that confidence to be able to think you would achieve 1, 2, 3. You understand? So however much you may feel like whatever they are doing is not impactful, just humble yourself and ask to, collaborate or something like that, or pitch your idea in a way that even that person feels there's dignity in it. Sometimes, especially with us young generation, they always say in corporate spaces, like working with millennials or Gen Zs is hard. You understand? And it's because of that. I think it's mostly because of that kind of outlook on life, that kind of approach. Then the other one I would say is discipline. If you keep doing something, even if it's something simple like going to the gym, of course within the first week there's no impact. Within the second week you won't notice the muscles, but if you've done it for 3 months, that's when you now start seeing the difference. Sometimes even it takes up to 1 year, 2 years. So discipline. If you have made the plan, then trust yourself and trust God that this plan will work. So be disciplined. You can't start, drop. For me, I think that's the method that works for me. And just avoiding a lot of drama, because, for me, I always say I've lived it, been there, done that. Campo life ilibamba and all of that. Those few years of, the first employment, you're earning your own money. Been there, done that. Right now, I'm not really looking for thrill, like cheap thrills and all of that. I'm able to plan myself. If I want to go somewhere, I'm able to plan myself and do it. So avoid putting yourself in situations that will compromise you, and you never know how that compromise will come. You understand? So just be disciplined. And believe in your mission. Yes.
Always. You're truly a Shujaa, and since from your diagnosis up to now, what message, in a nutshell, can you say? Put it in 3 words or just a sentence, so that they get an impact of you being a voice behind the Crimson Courage.
Yes. Okay. So sometimes it might feel like in life, it's a grand mountain that you're climbing. But how does climbing work? You have to take one step in front of the other, in front of the other, and it means that you have to be a yes man. Being a yes man means that when you are faced with a challenge, don't hide behind others. Say that I can do it. I have what it takes to do it. Because if you don't do it, who do you expect to do it? Like for me, I always say, like, for example, if I'm not the next generation leader, then who is? If it's not me, then people are in trouble. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself that you are the solution and you are the answer and you are the reason why you are here. Why would you still be here despite all the health challenges and all of that? Mr. Shujaa, have a platform and all of that. Yes. It means that you are the solution. Yes.
That's quite quite impactful. You empowered me in ways that I never believed, but having one-to-one talk with you tells me that I'll come up with different approaches to link up with you. And I think I take this opportunity to thank your voice as a Shujaa to come up and create a more meaningful environment. So thank you, Tracy Owuor, and God bless you. Take care of your cognitive reserves and continue crafting yourself. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I'll also tell you to continue being a Shujaa, continue being courageous. That is what Crimson Courage means. That despite everything, just wake up, dust yourself off, and be courageous. So I'm also proud of you. You're very courageous and also very inspiring to all of us. Never ever think that whatever you're doing is not impactful. It is quite impactful. Because if you go missing today, who do you think will fill your position? No one.
Sure.
Yes.
So thank you. Looking forward to see you again very soon.
Yes. Thank
Adios.
you. Have a good day. Be blessed.
Be blessed
Thanks
too.
for having me.
You're welcome.